Bankster holiday planned for September. Key story fired out last night by Kurt Nimmo at Infowars.com. We hope everybody sees this because this is coming from good sources. Now, I want to be clear before the media in September comes back and misrepresents what Bob Chapman's saying, what Harry Schultz is saying of the International Investment, Financial, Economic, Geopolitical Newsletter, named Newsletter of the Year by Peter Brimelow of the Market Watch, 2005-2008. Ron Paul says it's one of his favorite places for analysis. The issue is he's saying this as well. We're getting him on tomorrow. And Bob's talked to his contacts, and this is definitely an order that went out. So just because they take the safety off and put the financial gun to our head doesn't mean they're going to pull the trigger. We're just saying that good sources confirm this is being planned. Planned. Bob Chapman's influential international forecaster is reporting on the possibility of a so-called bank holiday planned for late August or early September. According to Chapman's source, U.S. embassies around the world are selling dollars and stockpiling money from respected countries where they operate. From respective countries where they operate. Some U.S. embassies worldwide are being advised to purchase massive amounts of local currencies, writes Harry Schultz, enough to last them a year. Schultz publishes in the Harry Schultz letter, International Investment, Financial, Economic, and Geopolitical Newsletter, named as Newsletter of the Year by Peter Brimelow of Market Watch, 2005-2008. Schultz believes the global elite are in the process of engineering an FDR-style bank holiday of undetermined length in order to sort out the bank mess. That means panic everybody right during September, October to pass the, quote, Federal Reserve reorganization. See, that's perfect timing. And, of course, I'm elaborating on this, and I'm going to get back to the article. That is perfect timing. Because, remember, they engineered the crisis in October of last year, 8 months ago, and said, give us unlimited financial control and power. Give us total anonymity, secrecy, no audits, no agency can investigate us. Nobody can look. It's unlimited trillions. If we wanted to take 100 trillion of taxpayer money, we could. That'd be putting each American in $1.5 million of debt, but they've already got it up $200,000 the last 8 months. Why not? You know, not counting the other $100,000 you already owed in taxes, just on the debt. That's on top of what you pay yearly. Just in interest to the bankers that we're giving the money to the bankers, and then we pay interest to them for giving it to them. I mean, that's a good deal if you can get it, huh? And so they said, do what we say or there'll be a massive depression. And then they stopped the bailout of the stock market, the plunge protection team, the president's working group on markets. They stopped dumping money in that week. They're always propping it up. Always insider trading for themselves. It's a casino they've got rigged. They use your money to go gamble in a rigged casino. They can't lose. They run it, and they go gamble in it with your money. And then there's all the schmucks and suckers that go in and play in that casino with the sharks. What idiots. Anyways, the issue here is it's the exact same profile. This makes perfect sense, and it's confirmed by people that don't play games and don't put out disinfo. Now, this could be embassy people feeding them bad info, but this is coming from embassies. And I got a few contacts as well. We got our feelers out to triple confirm this. Our antennae are up. And so this follows the perfect pattern of how they'll get a bunch of hysteria going, shut down some banks, grab a bunch of other banks and insurance companies that are healthy but use regulators to do it. And then they come out and say, we've got to have unlimited power over the economy, as this new bill says. We've got to be able to seize any business, any corporation, or the economy is going to die. We're going to have a depression. And they'll get 1,000 to 1 phone calls in Congress against it. The polls will say 98, 99% against it, just like it was in the last one. But Congress will say, we got to do this or the economy's going to die. And then the public will become outraged and the Congress will say, okay, we'll do what you want. And then they'll turn the economy off and say the bank runs were caused by people that don't want a Federal Reserve dictatorship. And then the media will say, oh, now the public's for it, which they won't be, but they'll say, now the public doesn't like it, but they realize it's got to happen. And now the Federal Reserve owns and rules America, and they're going to have to take some public lands and roads and infrastructure and give it to the investors. But don't worry, if you just follow orders, they'll fix the economy, they'll get you working again. And then another 6 months, a year down the road, it'll be you all work for the federal government now, but through private corporations under federal control. And you've got to have this ID card in proper order. And we need to be able to have a job. And we need the illegal aliens to help get America going. They're all legalized. And anybody criticizing the market is going to be arrested. They're already talking about that. Because anybody criticizing the Federal Reserve, you're the ones that caused this. If you would have just done everything they said, they wouldn't have had to become dictators. Okay, and Northcom wouldn't have to be on the streets. All right. Okay. And all the yuppies will chatter and get their newspapers out when they're at the bar and talk and agree with the experts on TV, and they'll all line up and do what they're told. And that's how the raping, that's how it is to be a nation of crack whore, drug addict, brain damaged prostitutes. That's basically what we are. We're just a totally drugged out, cigarette burns all over us, mindlessly gibbering, watching Saturday morning cartoons, laying in a flea bag hotel with stains all over the carpet, and just the lowest of the low Johns of the world lined up for $5 to have their way with us. We're just covered with slime. We just watch the TV gibbering and drooling. We don't have any front teeth. And the Federal Reserve just comes in with a nightstick if we ever argue and just beats us in the head. That's who we are. That really is who we are. We're a drugged out prostitute who weighs about 90 pounds with cigarette burns all over with clumps of hair falling out. A crack whore, right on the end, right on the edge, be dead soon, be taken out and thrown in a river. And nobody in the world will care. Because after all, we were that crack whore. We were that arrogant, evil country. Sucked dry, totally imploded. And I'm sorry to use analogies like that, but that's what we are, a toothless crack whore with crust all over our eyes. We were once a beautiful 18-year-old woman who ran away from home, ran away from the church, ran away from goodness. We were going to live on the streets. We were going to make it big in Hollywood. And now we're a crack whore with our hair falling out. We still love the pimp and the drugs he gives us. We worship the pimp. We love him. We kiss his boots. That's who we are. We worship the police. We worship the prisons. We worship the sodium fluoride in the water. We worship our kids dying of cancer being injected. That's who we are. Can we crawl out? Can we make it to a hospital? Could we ever get our soul back? Probably not. The brain's too fried. But see, we're not just one person. We're not just one crack whore. This crack whore symbolizes the body politic which those of us that aren't crack whores and slaves still live in. Then you find out the whole world is a cigarette burn crack whore.